Welcome to Finally Fabulous. In this episode of Finally Fabulous podcast, I introduce you to Charli Kumar. I've known Charli for a number of years. She's an absolute ball of positive energy that just oozes out of every orifice of her. I talked to her about travel, how she built up and how travelling with her parents has stayed with her, and the importance of culture and learning different things. And we talk about the importance of companies that are built on purpose and her mission and her passion to do something to change the world. She has loads of resilience. She has loads of ideas and tips for how we can improve ourselves, improve the world, and make ourselves just better. She's really inspirational and she's totally fabulous. I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did. Hello, Charli Kumar.
Hello. It's lovely to be here.
Welcome.
Very excited.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Charli is a little ball of energy. And when she worked at Sky, I remember the stories of you on your scooter going from place to place.
Yeah, scooter queen.
That was what you were known as.
Kick scooting across the campus. Yeah. Very Google of me.
I think everybody was actually just jealous of you for having a scooter when they didn't.
The number of people who said, "Oh, but you can carry it off, Charli." And I was like, I don't know how. Like, I think I just got on the scooter and it became part of me. I think anybody could do it, but yeah.
So Charli is over from Germany, where you now live.
I do.
But you've told me earlier that you actually were born in Wales.
Yeah, I was born in Cardiff, grew up in Wales, first 12 or so years of my life.
What was that like? Did you enjoy living there?
Oh yeah, loved it. Loved
Yeah.
it. If anyone's seen the film of the Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain, that was the hill behind my house.
Okay, right. Make note. That's something
make
for our
note,
listeners
but,
to watch.
Yeah, no, really enjoyed it. And we used to sail in Penarth, which is just south of Cardiff as well. But I don't sound Welsh because my parents then went all over the world. So Bahamas,
Right.
Philippines, Singapore, all those kind of things.
Tough. That must have been really tough for you.
But no, not really. There was
She says joking.
boarding school and really interesting holidays. So yeah, that's why I don't really sound very Welsh.
Yeah. My dad was also an expat. He travelled the world as well. So we were parcelled off every summer holiday to go and live with my dad for 3 or 4 weeks. So that was really tough, going to places like Australia, which unfortunately is where he lives now. And we get to go there
quite a lot further away.
Yeah, it's a lot further.
Yeah, part of that, though, I think frames a lot of what's come since as well. There's a level of enjoyment of travel, but also just awareness of different cultures and people. And I find myself connecting with other people who've done a lot of travel, even if they haven't told me.
Right.
And you find out later, it's like, oh, so there's something about the outlook that gets
that's
shifted
interesting.
by that.
Yeah. And just really understanding people's perspectives from a different viewpoint, isn't it?
I think when we were thinking about moving to Germany, like just the barrier and the threshold to do that was far lower because I'd seen it before and actually found it a really positive experience. So it made that decision easier. Yeah. And my husband wanted to do it as well. It wasn't just me forcing it through. He was
Does
really
actually
keen.
help.
Does help. So yeah, it does change some of those decisions. And it changes the way you connect with people.
Yeah, very interesting. So we're here today to talk about a few of your defining moments, and which we like to call fuck it moments.
Yeah.
You've made a decision that enough is enough, and I'm actually just going to make that decision and choice and go for it now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it incredible for me and my people around me, and see where it goes. And if it needs to change again, then I'll change it again. Yeah.
Yep.
Does that kind of sum up some of your thinking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we chatted about this before, the idea of the sort of fuck it moment. And I was joking. Mine was more a fuck it moment because I knew I knew for a while that I wanted things to change. But then there are certain moments on the way through where that shifted.
Yes.
Where you actually begin to make those decisions.
Yeah.
So it's a fuck it moment with some fuck it moments in between.
I love that description. I think that's brilliant. So let's talk about some of those. Let's kind of dive into, some of those, the fuck it moment along the way. And how many years do you think that was for? Like the long one that took you a while to get there?
Probably about 6 or 7 years, actually.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because it shows that it doesn't matter. You don't feel like you have to, there's any pressure on you to make any decisions quickly. Just do things that are right for you.
Yeah, and I think it also helps frame your choices even from that moment onwards. So knowing that I wanted to do something different is okay, so I'm going to take this opportunity because it's going to give me these skills that will contribute to that later thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do this opportunity for the same reason. So even though I hadn't stepped out to do what I do now with sort of purpose-led businesses, I was literally gathering skill sets on the way through and making quite conscious decisions about that. not even knowing totally what the future was, but I knew these things would be useful.
Right, that's good.
So,
And when did you think you had that mindset that eventually you wanted to be in purpose-driven business environments?
So there are two pieces to it. So for a really long time, my husband and I have had by the time we get to mid-40s, we want to be able to choose.
Right.
That didn't mean stop working. It could mean working every hour that God sends. It just meant that you were free to be able to make that choice because you weren't feeling trapped by a level of financial encumberment or a sort of lifestyle that outstrips what you're earning, all that kind of stuff. So we already had that.
And how old were you, do you think? How old were you when you decided together that was going to be your kind of plan? Was it early on when
It was
you
pretty
first
early
got
on.
together?
That must be like
Pre-kids, do you think?
Yeah, it was pre-kids.
Pre-kids.
That was pre-kids. And my son's, 13 now. So,
right.
yeah.
Gosh,
So,
I can't believe it's 13 already.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I've got 2 double-digit children now.
Oh, wow.
So that was quite sort of deep-seated in how we thought about life and how we approached stuff. The purpose-driven piece, that probably was 5, 6, yes, maybe even 6, 7 years. So a similar kind of time, knowing that actually I'd like to step out and do something that means more to me.
And was there a trigger point for that? Is it around your children? You mentioned to me about your children before, about thinking about their life, their future life.
That came in a little later. I think it was more like I've got all of these skills and I've been so lucky with the education and the background and the experience and the roles, like just so much that what do I actually care about applying that to? And also just the level of toll that work at that point in time was really taking. It's like, what makes it worth it? So that's where the sort of purpose piece came from. But the focus on more around sustainability and climate, that crystallized with the kids. I'd always been interested in sort of skies, ocean rescue and all that kind of stuff and rainforest rescue before. And I'd sort of engaged with that. But it was with the kids when I was like, actually, when we keep talking about 2050, like it's ages away, they will be my age in 2050.
Yeah.
What is
that's
what is
significant, isn't it?
What is the
It's
lifestyle
huge.
they're going to be able to enjoy at that point? And then suddenly it's not a date that's masses of distance away. It's them being me.
Yeah. It makes it real.
shit.
It really makes it real. And it's actually quite shocking when you think about it in those terms.
Yeah.
And then you don't just think about your own kids, you think about your grandkids and, future generations and how much the world is changing so much around us now. It's actually quite frightening.
And I've got friends who will say, like, they've spent a long time wondering about whether they should have children because they worry so much about that. So, like, I'm not in that category, but I'm in the category of how are we going to make decisions so that it does make it better for them?
Yeah.
And the other bit that comes up as you say that is this concept of rhythm. Because stepping out from 17 years at Sky to then be freelance, be my own boss, one of the biggest shifts in that is rhythm.
Yeah.
Because the momentum is created by you. And the regularity of meetings and all that kind of stuff is created by you. Whereas when you're in a big sort of machine like Sky, which is really dynamic and really fast paced, it's moving anyway.
Yeah.
So then you're like,
You have to keep
so we have to
moving.
do this and this, and we've got to fix that, and it's already on its way.
Yeah.
And that can help make you feel a little bit lost at times. Like, what am I doing today? And is it the right thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Because there is
definitely.
no structured path that someone has created before you.
Yeah, that's right. And you have this kind of blank canvas that you literally fill in yourself. And you, as you say, you're choosing every single thing. You're choosing what meetings you go to, who you work for, when you go to lunch, if you go to the gym. And you're also everybody. You're the HR department and the IT department and everything as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that can be really hard
All
work.
of that. All of
Yeah.
that. But the other bit was when I made that move, the reactions from other people and the labels that they put on it were also really interesting.
Interesting. Talk to us about that.
So people say, "Oh, that's so exciting,"
Right. Yes.
and I found that really difficult. And the reason I found that really difficult is because I didn't feel it was exciting, which sounds mad because I'd been planning it for years and it was coming and it was the right thing to do. I didn't feel it was exciting because it was actually a bit scary.
Yes.
And so recognizing it can be the right thing to do and it's scary. That's
Yeah.
okay.
That's
and just
okay.
because someone else says it should be exciting, well, that's not what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit like it's definitely right, but ooh.
Yes. And that word should.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that word.
You
should.
know, it's one of my favourite words. Favourite words. So when I went through all my executive coach training, that opens up a whole different dimension and the power of different questions and so on and the power of language,
Interesting.
which I find in my coaching, that I will catch words from people. So tell me more about what those ones are. Should is one of those where if I hear it, I will almost definitely catch it and say, where's the should coming from? Because should tends to imply that what's the mark scheme? What's the level of expectation? Is it something that you want to do or you would choose to do? Or is it something you feel you should do because that's someone else's expectation, or it's where you think you should take your career, or all of those kind of pieces. So I try to help people think, let's not focus on the should, let's focus on from a position of agency, where do I want to go?
Yes.
And how does this contribute to where I want to get to? Should is
so we should replace.
We should
replace.
Should. Yeah, whose mark scheme are you following there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so easy, right? Should is one.
Yeah.
Like people apologising a lot is another that gets caught. Those kind of words where you just catch them and say, where do those come from?
Yeah,
and are they actually like serving you in that moment?
Very interesting. I think it's really. I mean, I think that's a brilliant thing to stop yourself every now and then, and just think about when I'm about to say should and say, what I would like to do is this, or just frame of mind, and it does completely change your perspective on how you're thinking. So I think that's a really vital thing to learn.
I had some really exciting conversations that made my brain really fizz, that I was like, I hadn't realised I'd been missing that kind of
stimulation
and then that kind of development. And I was like, I want some of this. And then my husband would ask, but why this? Why this course? Are there others? All the rational things. Yes. And I went, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And that voice was so small because I'd used it so infrequently.
Interesting.
Because it was always, I should do this, or it's an exciting thing that someone else wants me to come and solve and help with, and I love being helpful. The number of times I'd use it, I just want to do this. That was a really quiet voice.
Yes. So just talk to me a bit about the expectation on people. And I particularly want to think about expectations on us as women and whether that's come out at all in your life, and whether, just being a woman, especially for a massive beast like Sky, and before that you were at ITV. So very fast moving media industry, both of those, and also across Europe as well. So we talked earlier about different cultures and embracing different cultures around the world. But you've worked for different people and from different backgrounds, and in across Europe, Spain and in Germany and all sorts. Have you found that there's been some instances where there's certain expectations on either that you're not going to perform well because you're a woman, or that you are going to perform differently?
That's a really interesting one. I think first thing on that is one of the things I bring is the ability to engage with lots of people. That probably ties back to traveling a lot when young and all that kind of stuff. But so the cultural differences, I find, tend to level out when you're just human and straightforward with people and positive. Like that gets you so far. It doesn't matter the sort of culture. Like my husband's family is sort of Indian culture and so on. And just that very basic human connection stuff, I think, gets you a really long way. I haven't felt that in a work context in terms of expectations of being a woman and kind of how that all sort of flows through. I think I've been quite fortunate in that.
I would say
I'm useful.
Yeah.
So can I have you over here is more what I've experienced. Okay. But I have experienced it outside. So a bit of chalk and cheese. Like my husband now, he's amazing. And we're absolutely a partnership in terms of supporting each other and challenging each other. Like we can be really challenging. And he's never had an issue with the role, and we've been conscious about who's taking the baton right now. And for a big chunk of time, that was me and not him, even though he has a big role and so on himself. So that's a really healthy kind of balance. But if I think of other people that I'd been out with before, like when they found out how much I earned, and then suddenly you're kind of on a pedestal in a really weird way. And then when...
So weird, isn't it, how that shifts?
Yeah. And it fundamentally challenged the sort of masculinity of, I've got someone who earns more than me. And that did two things. One of which was put me on a pedestal, which was, she must be amazing. And the other was that when we did actually break up, he went off and found himself a bigger job because he felt the need to sort of compensate. So that's where I've experienced it more, actually, is on a relationship basis, more than in the work context.
Yeah. And the support system around you. And one of the things we want to talk about was about your tribe. And I know that I have fabulous set of girlfriends who surround me. And what about your tribe? Do you have people like that around you?
Yeah, definitely. Husband's a big part of that.
Yeah.
As I mentioned already, it's a big shout out to him. There are definitely colleagues and friends from Sky. You're obviously one of them. Your sister is another one of them.
Yeah.
So just sound advice, judgment, perspective is what you seek from there. I think the other sort of aspect of my tribe, which is a more recent addition, is the people I learned to coach with.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the journey that you go through in the space of a year where you're coaching each other all the time because you're practicing all the time, you get in some really proper stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine
really
it must completely break you up and then put you back together, does it?
Yeah.
So my stepson's in the Royal Marines, and I imagine it must be a much gentler version of that.
That sounds much more harsh. But it's knowing that people can hold space and let you explore stuff.
Yeah.
So that's probably the other part of when you're making a big shift like that. Firstly, it's not a flick point. It's definitely a transition. So while there might be a fuck it moment or a sort of shift in there, the processing before and after, it's long. Yeah. It's really long. And so the coaching cohort, the knowing that someone can just hold the space for you and you could just say, actually, have you got time for a bit of time to think on Friday? Can we just grab an hour? Yeah. And you just go, blah.
Wow,
and they
amazing.
ask you helpful questions and you come out of it going, okay, I've processed that now.
Yeah.
And I used to joke whenever we had a sort of residential, I was like, oh, no, I just don't have anything left to be coached on. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I do. You're never done. There's always something. Sometimes it's a small thing that you're just functionally trying to get through. And sometimes it's bigger stuff that you're surfacing and I'm feeling a barrier on this. Let's explore that a bit. Yeah, there's always
it's a
something
continuum,
to be
isn't it?
coached
Because
on.
your life is changing all around you and the people in your life who are important to you are also changing. And the things that are changing as well. So that, there's always going to be a shift constantly.
And so the reason, it's that what that brought up for me was that transition is definitely not just the individual. Like when you make that kind of big move, it has a ripple effect everywhere because you're changing. Ash, my husband, will joke with me. You just decided to change everything all at the same time. You changed your industry, you changed the job, you're doing it from Germany, not the UK, all of that. But the impact on what does that look like within the family? What are the roles within the family? I have more time now. How do I spend that? What's the support that I'm looking for within the relationship? That shifts as well. Yeah. And so not to underestimate you're definitely not doing it alone, both from a tribal support perspective, but also you're going to have a ripple effect where other people are going to need to change because you've decided to change.
Exactly.
So being really conscious of that
and they have to be on
dynamic.
board with you, ideally, so that it'll work. And, I mean, right from the kids, right? They have to, they have to embrace that. They have to, and I'm sure they do love having you around much more.
Miss
So how do you feel after that? I mean, that was, quite a massive fuck it moment when when we'll talk about the reason, how you got there. But how do you feel having gone through that coaching and the processing?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things I have done is to go into coach training. And I didn't want to be a coach. I do coach and I really enjoy it now. But when I went into it, it was like, no, everybody leaves an exec career and becomes a coach. I don't want to do that. Because
it's like the classic model, isn't
part of who I am. And then, so I went into it because I knew I was going through a big transition, because I thought the skills would be helpful. And it's one of the best things I've done.
Yeah. And what has it brought you? Has it brought you more time or?
Perspective.
A
different way of showing up. Mm-hmm. So the way I ask questions is different. Yeah. And that doesn't just happen in work. That happens all the way through family. It's the way I ask questions of the kids, the stopping yourself from giving an answer first. So if they're asking a question, then it's like, well, what do you think the answer is?
Yeah, it's so hard to do that. I mean, I talk so much and I have to, when I'm facilitating something, I have to remember that I've actually got to listen to the person who's talking to me. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll have nothing to write down apart from my own things.
Yeah. And that's it. Like
Very
shifting
important.
The position from listening to respond to listening to understand.
Yes. And as what comes with that, I imagine, is a load more energy because you're investing in yourself. You're doing something you want to do.
Yeah.
And your brain is fizzing again.
Yeah, so there's that development angle that you're stretching, you're learning new stuff, you're making new connections, which is brilliant. And then you're able to help people more.
Yeah, fantastic.
And not in a really worthy kind of, just in a showing up for someone and just asking a curious question.
Yeah,
it's
brilliant.
Yeah, it's a different way of being in an awful lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. And so the journey to get to this point has been interesting. It's been busy. Mm-hmm. run massive transformational programs on huge projects, as we mentioned at Sky, and before that at ITV as well. And we spent a significant amount of time at Sky from Spain and then off to Germany. You went.
Yeah. So with the streaming business.
What were the kind of key sort of learnings, would you say, that came out about yourself from some of those?
From the bits within my sort of core career? That's a good question. Quite a lot of different learnings. Learning what makes you valuable.
Yeah.
That's a big one. I mean, you touched a little bit before, the ability to connect with people, no matter sort of who they are and what the backgrounds are. And that I see because there are a handful of people, as in any career, where, you've got to work with that difficult person. And that was never that hard. There are very few people who would sit on the difficult people list from my career perspective. And so that human connection side of things. I was talking just this morning that when we write job specs, there's lots of hard skills and people find it really easy to write those. And then the words that we have for soft skills are rubbish.
Yeah,
they're like,
rubbish.
Are you collaborative? Can you do stakeholder management? It's like, no. I can connect with people in a way that makes them want to help, that gets them aligned. Like it's such a powerful space to be in on that human side. We don't really have much language around that.
No, there's not much language, and also now with AI and all the algorithms and everything that you have to do to, look how old I sound now. But
all this newfangled technology.
But you do have to run by the book, and otherwise you're just not going to be picked up if people are looking for jobs and things. And it is a shame, and we do need to expand that vocabulary as fast as possible. We'll get it into AI and they will sort it out for us.
And it's what I love about the new work I'm doing now, because it's looking at the business side and the human side at the same time. That's what the exec experience and the coach experience does.
Course.
You can play in those spaces. And the things that people are willing to share when you get them into that space where they really feel heard. And that has to mean that you accelerate the business faster, right? Because you're not in the world of stuff people want to say. You're in the world of the stuff that people need to say.
Yeah,
to unlock
real
progress.
world, real world, and
stuff.
then get on with the real impact of everything that needs to happen. So as part of your fuck it moment, I know that a lot of that was spent actually whilst you were at Sky.
Yeah.
And what was the kind of turning point? Where did you get to the kind of end of the fuck it moment? What was some of those defining moments for you?
So I think if I said, 7 years or so ago, I knew that I wanted to step into something with more purpose.
Yeah.
And that wasn't anything to do with Sky. I've loved the time at Sky. Massively grateful for all the experience. It's just different selling TV subscriptions and that kind of stuff than thinking about things like climate, sort of chalk and cheese. So I'd known that about 7 years ago. Knowing that then meant that there was one fuck it moment, which was when I actually decided to leave, which was precipitated by a sort of shift around in roles and responsibilities. And I went, okay, I think I'm done at this point. I don't think I could have stepped into that if I didn't know that I already wanted to leave.
Yes, okay.
It's like you spot the opportunities because you know where you want to go.
Yeah.
Like if you're buying a car, suddenly all you see is red cars.
Yes.
Because that's what you're thinking you're buying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You notice those moments. So that was one fucking moment where I was like, no, I am going to leave. It then took me another 2 or something years to leave because of various extensions and staying in Germany and so on, which was right from a family point of view. But the fundamental decision to leave had been taken. So that was one big moment. Second big moment was that's a very career-y moment. Second big moment was not career-y at all.
Good. That's what we like to
hear. Yeah. So having dinner with friends, really good friends of ours, love them to bits. And somehow we were talking about climate. They were talking about going to the States and on a business trip. And, but business class is so nice, but it's not great for the environment. Oh, this is all so hard. And it was really notable. I stepped myself out of the conversation. I didn't say anything. And I sat there with my fingernails digging into my legs under the table. So it was a really physical reaction. Yeah. And I left dinner and I got home and I was like, I cannot be in the same conversation of that in 5 years' time, not having tried to do something.
Do something about it.
I just can't.
Yeah.
So it was a really sort of visceral reaction. And while I'd known the purpose angle for a really long time, what that did was sort of reinforce the urgency of that kind of moment.
Yeah. And we should talk about purpose, the word purpose, because it has a lot of different connotations and lots of different meanings to different people. What's your take on it? Where are you coming, your perspective on it?
So you're really right on different perspectives.
Yeah.
So the amount of baggage, if you say, oh, I want to work more in sustainability. Okay, so you're a sustainability consultant that loves regulations and reporting. And it's like, whoa, no, hang on. No, it means I care about there being a planet where people can thrive in future.
Right.
And to be even more specific about that, that's if humans continue, that's great, but that's not enough from my point of view. It's like it's about an overall environment. So it's about nature and it's about diversity. It's not just about human success. It's about how that works together. And it took time to be able to put words around that and realize, oh, that's different than someone else's flavor. So I work with others who are really passionate as well. Theirs is more the societal angle, which I definitely hear and feel. I just lean a bit more towards the environmental angle.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just connecting really with what you super care about. And then translating that into, and therefore, what can I do about it?
Yes.
So again, that same thing. Okay, so you need to go and retrain in ESG. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Which is where the sort of purpose-led business piece came from. It's like, what I'm really good at is commercial, transformation, people, human, coaching, that bundle of stuff. And there are loads of businesses out there trying to do amazing things, and they get stuck in all of the dull sort of, where am I taking the business? How is my leadership team working? How am I managing to deliver this? What are the roadblocks I'm hitting? And I can help there without any further depth of knowledge in the technicalities of ESG. I mean, I do read up and I'm passionate about that side of things, but the idea of not being pigeonholed into what your response is to your purpose is the other big part. So purpose is clear, and how I can add value to that is also clear.
Yeah.
I mean, still being proven, right? It's still quite new. But,
and you will continue to learn. I mean, there's always going to be learning that you'll as things unfold in front of us, and you'll continue to do that as well. So you'll bring your commercial acumen, if you like, in the way that businesses work. And let's not forget that Sky is a massively purpose-driven organisation as well, and there has been over the many years that you're particularly here. And take all of that and through the lens of what you're passionate about, which lends itself to you coming to this fabulous choice that you've made and on this path that you're going down now.
Yeah. And you mentioned at the beginning the idea of making those big shifts to create a different sort of version of not just work but life and make that better. And also the idea that that's not necessarily the end.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea whether what I'm doing now is what I'll do in 5 years' time. Yeah. But I do know that the purpose bit is part of it. And I do know that the other thing I've really appreciated stepping into this new world is my level of energy is so different than it was before. Whatever comes from here onwards has to have that in it as well. Because that's
is that because you've actually started to achieve what it was that you were hankering after all those years, do you think?
I think it's a combination of things. I think there's some of that. Even though it's also hard. So, like, anyone who thinks it's automatic joy when you step out, it's not automatic joy. It's still
very hard work.
So I think it's some of that, and it's also how would I put it? It's I'm still working a lot, but I'm not working to the extent that I was, and I'm not carrying the toll that I was.
Right. Yes.
And some of that is about like what's the burden that I put on myself, and relative in the sort of corporate context versus my new context.
Yes.
And the way that shows up is that, like, previously we would have put like one engagement in at a weekend, and I would turn up physically.
Yes.
But you may or may not get Charli. I actually, and this is where you will laugh at me. I actually got to the point of wondering, am I actually good at connecting with people and small talk and stuff?
Oh dear.
Because that's like, it's really hard. And I look back on that and I'm like, that is just mental, because it's like, as you said, I'm a bundle of energy. I'm very warm. I'm really curious, and I love talking to people. But I gotten to the point where just my sheer battery level didn't allow me to show up.
I've experienced that myself. I know, I can really empathise with that. And it's when I love nothing more than to walk into a room full of strangers, which lots of people absolutely hate. And I just walk up to you and say, hello, I'm Kate.
Things.
Hello. This person must be
going, I come and play with?
Yeah. Why are they talking to me? I don't even know that person. But and I love that. And I'm the same. And sometimes just like, I just can't go to anything at the weekend. I just need to lie down. So I do really empathise with that when you work too hard and you just run out of energy and burn out.
Yeah. And you begin the thing, I began to doubt myself because of that.
Right.
And that's interesting because it's the who are you, and then what is the environment that you're putting yourself into.
Yeah.
And knowing which one of the things is creating that dynamic, which for me, it was definitely the environment that I was in and the toll that I was taking for the work that I was delivering. So it's really reassuring to me that I am actually quite a warm, connecting human.
Yeah.
And I love that that's showing up. I love that that's showing up with my family, like in the time that I'm spending with the kids. It's showing up being able to do more stuff at the weekends, which impacts them, but also friendships. I've joined a choir. I've been meaning to join a proper choir for like a decade.
Amazing.
And I'm not joking with it.
Amazing. And that's something I won't be doing because my singing is dreadful. Luckily, my daughter hasn't inherited that from me. She's a very good singer. But yeah, awful.
It's just like time for things like that and energy for things like that.
Yeah.
And knowing I'd researched that kind of stuff so many times and not bitten the bullet because I didn't feel like it wasn't just time, it was energy.
It was energy, being able to give all of you into that as well and make it something worth doing. So you've had a fascinating change. And how do you think it's going to? We've talked about all the energy and everything you've got from it. Are you enjoying the actual work that you're doing now? Are you enjoying that side of it as well?
Yes, I am. And I love exploring the business and the human at the same time. So one of the consultancies I'm working with, Beyond the Blueprint, it's people who are ex-execs and coaches. That's a really interesting combination of things. It gets you into conversations with clients that you wouldn't otherwise have stepped into.
Yeah.
So that I'm really enjoying. I'm really enjoying the coaching work as well.
Yeah.
I find it really grounding. So firstly, it's a wonderful dynamic to create with someone and to feel that you're helping. And for me, I also find it really grounding because it holds me in the curious space rather than the I've got to have an answer, I've got to chase it, fix it. Like so much of what I've done is, oh, this is a problem, I'll go fix it, which is super fun.
Yeah.
And I love it. But I love now that I've got the choice of the two.
Yes.
Am I in fix it, lead it, land it, drive it mode? Or am I in coach, elicit, assist, support,
listen mode?
Listen Listen and challenge.
Yeah.
But it's a different way of showing up. So I really enjoy that.
That's good.
And working with some of the clients we work with in sort of the UN Refugee Agency, and then there's an agri-tech business we're working with. They're really fun to go and learn more about.
Yeah.
And you can feel the purpose stuff flowing through.
Yeah,
so,
and I can feel
really,
the energy that's coming from you.
And I've had a really good week, so that's flowing through as well.
Yeah.
But it's not all like that. And that's the other part, I think. When I talked about labels that people apply, it's really exciting, that's going to be amazing, there's so much
brave.
How brave, like,
me,
and actually helping people understand, like, it's not all like that. Like, it's not like the grass is greener and you just jump over and say, oh, this grass is amazing. It's not like that. Like, there's a lot that goes on behind it of, okay, what really is my purpose? What my actual proposition? What am I going to do? I got to kind of go and build relationships and sell work.
Yes.
And that means selling me. It's not selling a company, it's selling me, and I know I'm not the only one in this from multiple conversations I've had that, oh crap, how do I do that? I don't like talking about myself. And sometimes people get very small. So there's an awful lot of that to work through. But it's worth it because the thing that you want to create begins to emerge.
Definitely does. And I've been going for 7 years now, and I would never go back. I would never go and work for somebody else. And I think I would be an absolute nightmare as well to work inside a corporate office now. I've
often thought you'd be a nightmare to work with.
Thanks. But you make it happen because it's for you at the end of the day. It's everything comes back to you.
And that for me is like just embracing the and.
Yes.
Like, it can be exciting and scary.
Yes.
It can be absolutely the right thing and difficult.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the piece that is often people sort of simplify. Oh, you've stepped away, that must be amazing. And it's sort of very sort of one dimensional in that. It is and.
Yes.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a rhythm. And it's all on me. And all of the other ends.
Yeah.
And I still wouldn't change it.
Yeah. So if we were then to look at some of the tips and learnings that you would give to say to people about some of the things that you've learned along the way that you might, looking back, you might do differently or change up, or actually the way I did it was great and I can share that with people. Would you have some thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think the point around the way I did it was great versus things I would change. I think a lot of it is just dependent on the scenario. So actually, I don't think I would change what I've done now, some of those decisions were really quite difficult on the way through.
Yeah.
Like the decisions
I
to
can
extend
imagine.
so that we stayed in Germany with the family, even though I was still working and not doing purpose-led stuff. Like those were tough decisions. So I don't think I would change any of that. I think what did evolve over that period is the concept of what are you running away from and what are you running towards, and the balance of those two things. And I've seen that with some of my coachees as well. It's like, oh, well, I don't like this and I don't like this and I don't like this and I don't like this. Great, those are all running away from things. Super cool, but and they're valid, and it's not to silence those, but at the same time, what are you running towards?
Yes,
and that shift takes space. So running away from 5 days a week, high levels of stress, feeling like it's what's it really for?
Someone else's agenda.
It's someone, all of that kind of stuff, and then the toll it takes, and then like being like not really being present when you go and see friends, that kind of stuff. I want to run away from all of that. Then shifting into, but I want to run towards a lifestyle that I control and I can be choiceful of, and I have a sense of purpose around, and I feel like I'm having impact, and where I can create more interaction with family. So it's just a broader definition of success than you had before.
Yeah.
That shift.
And do you think when because you set your plan, as we talked about, that you and Ash set the plan, if we're lucky by our mid-40s, we'll be doing something different. Do you think that helped you to have that in the back of your mind, that this is that you'd both agreed on that was a plan for your the lifestyle decisions you made and things?
Yeah, there's a wide range of things that help with, and what I see in some of our other friends and so on, that if you make that decision quite early on, then you're shaping your career and lifestyle decisions with that in mind.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay, if I get an uplift in salary, if I get promotion, I'm not going to go and spend all of that. I'm not going to level up my lifestyle so that it eats all of that gap, right?
You don't go and spend it all on champagne.
I don't. No, I don't. Or handbags or shoes. Thankfully, I don't have a passion for those things. So maybe I'm just lucky. But what I think is really hard is when you look around at people who are sort of getting towards that sort of 50-ish, and they're like, oh, I'd love to step out, but I can't.
Yeah.
And the but I can't comes from the lifestyle, the house, the holidays, the obligations to family, some of which aren't movable.
Yes, of course.
But some of which are.
Yes.
But because you sort of built that habit up over time, it's really hard then to step away from. So if you start at the beginning with that in mind, that says, okay, we could go on a really expensive holiday wherever, or on a cruise, as you mentioned. Or we could hold on to a chunk of that, and that will bring our like choiceful moment earlier.
Yeah. Not the end date, the choice moment.
Yeah, the choice moment.
That's a different way of thinking about it.
Yeah, and so having that in mind.
And actually, it doesn't matter when that choice moment is. I mean, it could be actually your retirement, but if it's not our retirement, we're just calling it our choice moment, and we're just reframing everything.
Yes.
Because my life it's been a way that I haven't been able to plan like that. It's been changed so much. Yeah. But now I can. And, now we're having those kind of discussions around, let's just pull back slightly, but carry on doing all these other things that we enjoy doing. Yeah. So, just having those choice moments.
Yeah, and I think that's it. It's the choice moment that and that might be at the same time as retirement. It might absolutely be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be.
Whatever retirement looks like.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I think choice is so much more powerful than retirement, because it's just so much more expansive.
Yeah. Remember, it's about as much as you can about what you want, not what you should.
Yeah, that's
the expectations away.
The idea of, I mentioned earlier, that voice of what I want is really quiet.
Yeah.
Like I likened it, and again, this is where the coaching was really helpful. It's like, I've got a grown-up voice that says, yes, I can go off and do all of this stuff, and I can be helpful and fix stuff, and da-da-da-da. And I should do this, and someone would like me to do this, and I can jump on that. That was a really grown-up voice. It was very well established. It was very well sort of rewarded, and it had been sort of positively stroked over many, 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 many years. And then there was this little tiny voice that said, I want, that hadn't had any of that.
Yeah.
So that just being able to label that, and then very consciously build more of that into my decision making. So what do I actually asking myself? What do I actually want to do?
Yeah.
And gradually just building the strength. It's like just having a muscle you haven't used.
Yeah. And I'd be proud of that. I mean, you should be really proud of everything that you've achieved up until this point. You should be proud of the fact that you've made that decision to go out and follow your dreams and go into purpose. And, hundreds of people, millions of people, look to people like you because they won't do that. They don't know how to do that. And they don't necessarily have the passion to do that, but they can see that it's important to do that. So, it's really an accolade to be doing that going forward.
No,
So
I'm really happy I have.
thank you, Charlie. It's
Absolute pleasure. It's been so much fun.
It really
great to join
has.
you.
And I think there's so much interesting stuff that everybody can take away from today. So I really, really appreciate your time. Thank
Absolute
you.
pleasure. Always.
So now for cocktails.
Excellent. Let's go. Let's go now.